What's up, rock stars? It's Rocks with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs. So let's get to it. All right, rock stars. So I had all my notes together, and look at all these damn notes that I have typed up about different issues. Net neutrality being the first thing that I was going to talk about, and literally right when I crawled into my back seat, I just got a notice from CNN that said that Trump's FCC votes to repeal net neutrality. So I can tell you what I said in my notes, or I could just kind of, okay, I'm just so frustrated about this because I feel like I didn't take it as seriously as I should have. But from what I understand now, originally President Barack Obama had put in place the idea of net neutrality, which allowed everybody to have the same internet access. Now, this is me going on layman's terms, just trying to give it to you guys as clearly as I can. I'm sure there's more to it. But from what I understood, if net neutrality is done away with, they will be able to decide how information is disseminated to we don't really know who, okay? Certain groups, it could be demographics, it could be socioeconomic groups, it could be everybody as a whole. The way I understand it is, say for instance, not to be all dramatic and everything, but say if there was a bombing of a mosque, technically they could decide that, oh, they don't need to know about that right now. The block is hot. There's a lot of emotions running on, the Muslim community. Maybe we don't need to let people know that there was this bombing. Okay, it limits, or in some cases does away with information altogether. Even though I don't know if it would be something that extreme, the idea that it could be is what is disturbing. They also talked about it basically there being fast lanes and slow lanes that your internet provider would be able to categorize you as. Now, to me, this already sort of happens. Fast lanes meaning that if you want to get the information more widely known, you want to get it like this, not have to go through so many changes, then you would spend more money to your internet provider so that they could give you that information. They wouldn't be able to throttle the information, throttle the speed. And again, I feel like that happens already. I mean, I get a text message from AT&T every single month that tells me, Roxanne, y'all about to hit your 16 and a half gigs limit on this fast internet. And even though you have unlimited internet and you pay for unlimited internet, the shit might slow down a whole lot once you get past this 16 and a half gigs and, you ain't finished with your month yet. So I'm not quite sure how this whole net neutrality hasn't already sort of been in place, but from what I understand now, with the vote that just happened, I hate when I'm not really prepared. They repealed it. It was a 3-2 vote. They're saying that it may still happen. So I don't know if there's another vote. I'm not, I just don't really I don't know what happens now. This guy Pai, though, P-A-I, he says that, quote, it's not going to destroy the internet. It's not going to end the internet as we know it. It's not going to kill democracy. It's not going to stifle free expression online. See, the problem they have, a lot of the opposing side, the ones that wanted to get rid of net neutrality, they're saying that there's too much information that is incorrect, that is inaccurate, that is inflammatory, that is opinion based and not necessarily fact based on the internet. And with all of this just wild spread freedom to just be out there and putting anything out on the net, that it also creates a dangerous environment. And I guess that is true as well. So the argument both ways is compelling. However, I think still, if they're able to control the information given to you and possibly not giving you the real facts, it could just get messy. It could get dicey. There's a whole lot more to it, I'm sure. I have a rock star by the name of Monique, who I follow. I was going to put her IG name on here, but I didn't ask her if I could. So I'm going to repost. Well, now it doesn't even matter. You know, I still will post what she had posted about this net neutrality. I didn't realize that the vote was happening this morning. Like, I just feel bad because I was just like, what was I doing? I've been hearing about it for the last couple of weeks, but you know how we get, you know, it's so much going on that you just kind of don't pay attention to nothing. And that is a bad way to be. I realize it now. But anyway, like I was saying about Monique, she's one of my subscribers who is very passionate, and she's a smart girl, and she is educated on so many issues that affects the Black community. And I just enjoy watching her Instagram page. I mean, she doesn't have no huge following or anything like that, but she just, when she gets her mind set on a subject, child, she is on it. And you have no choice but to listen, because you scrolling through her page, scrolling through your feed, and she just posting and posting and posting. And usually that kind of shit gets on my nerves, but when it comes to Monique's page, like, it is definitely stuff that you hear about, but you know, you might not necessarily, you know, have a wealth of information on. And she just is the person that she's very smart. I told her that she should run for council person. She lives in LA and everything. So I'll put her information. I'll probably repost what she talked about on net neutrality on my Instagram page today. Yeah, the vote has happened, you guys. This was a Republican-led commission vote, and the Democratic Party is very upset that this has happened. Okay, they say that this decision puts the FCC on the wrong side of history. Basically, that they got this wrong. This is on the wrong side of the law, and on the wrong side for the American public. So I don't know, you guys. Doesn't feel like it's a good thing, though. Yeah, you guys. I hate that it just happened, because I would have been better prepared. But that's what it is. Net neutrality. Looks like it's a wrap on that. I just broke my fucking nail. Can you guys believe it? You guys never hear me talking about breaking a nail, right? Never. Because I don't break nails. I was trying to stretch these fucking nails out for another week. Now I'm going to have to get the shit fixed this weekend. Like, I just don't have time. Anyway. Child, let me get to these stories. The Alabama election. Okay, so you guys already know it was a huge race for the Senate seat between Doug Jones and Roy Moore. And we all know who Roy Moore is. I don't know much about Doug Jones. Excuse me, I'm not up on the Senate policies of Doug Jones. All I know is, in this case, he seemed to be the lesser of two evils. And while he may not be one that is 100% for the cause of the Black community, everybody knew that they did not want Roy Moore up in there. Okay, and the fact that he is an accused pedophilist, had a numerous amount of girls that have come forward underage saying that he's been sexually aggressive and, you know, slept with them and forward, and I mean, just everything. Okay, ran the gamut. And I mean, people were still being very supportive and wanting him to be in office. To me, I guess there's really no 100% way that you can know that somebody like a Roy Moore has had these relations with these kids. But when you're going to put a person in a seat as powerful as a Senate seat for this entire state, and there is allegation after allegation after allegation against this man, some very credible allegations. I just don't see how you could, with a right mind and an open heart, vote a person like this in. I don't even know how he was able to. I mean, you know, Alabama is a Republican state, right? So, and I have told you guys time and time and time again, I'm not even a political analyst. I don't know much about politics, but what I do know is the Republicans will every single time sacrifice their own just to further their agenda, okay, to further their cause. They do not care. You can't tell me that the Republicans don't hate Donald Trump's ass. But because he's a Republican, he is representing their ticket, and he is the person that is going to get their, you know, what they want put forth, then they just deal with it. And they just kind of turn a blind eye to what he does. I mean, they be knowing that it's fuck shit all the time. And you know what? They don't care. Now, if you didn't find that out with this vote, watching the scales of how black men and women voted compared to how white men and women voted. The support was all pretty much there with white men. Very surprising for white women. Like, your children are the ones that were talking about him raping and molesting them. And I mean, if you don't care about the fact that this man did something to your own damn kids, your own community, then what else we talking about here? As usual, black people had to come in and save the day, okay? Most notably, black women, who are always responsible for tipping the scales when we need to be active. You know, we do it. We did the same thing for President Barack Obama. And if you weren't able to know from that vote in Alabama that black people can make a difference, like, we go back and forth with this all the time. You know, people be like, that's why I don't vote, because it don't make no difference. Well, now you see that it does. Again, Doug Jones, I don't know if he's one that's really all that I don't know what he feels about the black woman. But to me, you know, you would think that he should have some ideas in how he can help black women, considering they the ones that helped him get his ass in that office. Voting definitely makes a difference. And if we could just be that way when these midterm elections come up next year. I do vote in the midterm elections, but I'm not in every year. Like, whenever it's local, I've been trying to be better with that, but I just don't do it all the time. But I've always been conscious. My parents were very, very adamant. Like, when I was able to vote, I tell you guys this, they would mark up my book. Back then, they would send you a book and you would get all of the shit written out, and my parents would mark the book up and just send it with me to the damn voting booth. Be like, now this is what you vote for. And that's what I did, because I figured my parents would know best. And so now I'm reminded that, yes, our vote does count. It's important that we do get out and do it. And if Alabama didn't show you that, then I don't know what did, okay? But you know, I got to get a fist pump of righteousness for my black women out there, y'all. We do the damn thing every single time. We are so bomb, so dope. People don't realize it. I don't know why y'all sleeping on us. We get this shit right every single time. So shout out to the women out there, especially in Alabama, the black women. Hopefully this will be a signal of the change to come in America. Maybe we can shift this whole Republican whatever the fuck it is, y'all. But congratulations to Doug Jones. He is the new senator for Alabama. All right, you guys, this Keaton Jones story, like, it just has been so much, like, I don't even feel like talking about it, but I will, because we got to talk about it, okay? You guys all know the story. Keaton Jones was on a video that his mother posted onto social media, and he was crying about being bullied at his middle school in Knoxville, Tennessee. I saw the video come up on Instagram. I was at the mall with Jada on Saturday, real irritated with that child. She be working my nerves, child. Anyway, I was sitting down at the food court we were eating, and I saw the video come up on my feed. And when I saw it, I was just like, wow, that's heartbreaking. Kept on scrolling. It's not the first time that you hear about kids being bullied. But I will admit that video pulled at my heartstrings. You know, nobody likes to see a kid cry about being bullied. After that story came about, it quickly went viral. Everybody was reposting it. Celebrities was coming to the defense of this child. They wanted to invite him out. They wanted to hang out with him. They wanted to give him gifts. Sports teams wanted him to come to their city. And I mean, there was so much outpouring of love towards this kid. Everybody wanted to protect Keaton from the big bad bullies in Knoxville, Tennessee. That was Saturday. By Monday, y'all know how social media works. Okay, somebody is always going to be doing background checks on what the fuck you post. Okay, what do I tell y'all every time you put shit on the internet, it is there forever. Now, the mother is problematic because the mother seems to have some racist tendencies. She posted pictures of her some years ago, but posted pictures of her with a Confederate flag, her kid with not her son, you know, in particular holding the flag, but in this picture there was a Confederate flag with her son in it. Y'all know how that gets the emotions going of people. They immediately saw that flag and said, you know what, she's a racist. Then why is that car? honking like that. I hope it don't pick up too loud on here. But then, because he's the son of the mother, who is a racist, he now has to pay for the sins, like Kia said on the Queen's Court, pay for the sins of his mother. And because she is a racist, then, you know what, damn it, he must be a racist as well. So while everybody was trying to come to his defense of him being bullied, now the tables have turned, and now he's being bullied even on a bigger scale by all of social media, because damn it, y'all lying. Now your mama out there cutting the fool, talking about black people with these Confederate flags and whatnots, and maybe you deserved it. Then I started seeing all these very disturbing posts about, you know, people just want to do things to this little boy, and I was just like, what is wrong with the world today? Now listen, I understand that there are two issues here. We are talking about bullying, which is wrong, and we're talking about racism, which is wrong. In this case, though, because the emotions have run so high, it's hard for people to separate the two, and they are definitely two separate issues here. Not talking about his mom right now. Just as this boy Keaton, he's 11 years old. More of the story starts to come out at this school that he goes to Horace. What is it called? Was it Horace Mann? Horace Mann is a school in LA as well. It's Horace Maynard. Horace Maynard Middle School in Knoxville, Tennessee. Story comes out that there aren't even any black kids at the school. So who the hell is he supposedly calling nigger? Okay, because the story had come out that he was calling some kids nigger at the school, and that's why he was getting his ass beat, because, you know, he was cursing out these kids and calling them nigger. Who you calling nigger if there's no black kids there? I think they said that 98% of the school is white. I mean, I guess, you know, he could have picked out the few black folks up in there and was calling them nigger, but you know, I won't say not likely, but who knows, all right? So that story started to feel like it wasn't accurate and it wasn't correct, and people were trying, you know, changing the narrative to kind of fit the fact that they wanted to be mad at this kid because his mom is a racist. So then I'm just sitting there watching all this go down in the next 2-3 days after the original video went viral. And I was just like, Lord, this is a fucking mess. Okay, celebrities started to withdraw their post. You know, Cardi B had posted shit. Rihanna had posted shit. Plies had posted shit. Everybody was posting. And then they took all of that stuff back. And then you started to see posts about these two little black girls. Forgive me, I did not get their names. But there was two little black girls who had also killed themselves in the weeks prior. Just so happened to be around the same age as this kid. 10, 11 years old, had killed themselves because they were being bullied. And those stories weren't necessarily going viral like the one with Keaton did. And I'll just play devil's advocate here. Now, I had heard about one of the stories. One of the little girls, I had seen a post and read a story about her hanging herself. And, you know, I was just thinking to myself, like, well, how does a 10-year-old, 11-year-old kid even know how to hang? Like, how do they know these things? That's the scary part about it. But I had read the story, and again, my heart went out to the family because I just can't even imagine something like that happening. And then I moved on. The reason why those stories didn't necessarily go viral, first of all, it's hard to tell when a story is, what makes a story go viral. Certain things just pick up like this and other things don't. But what really does make a difference in these kind of stories is when you read a story about somebody getting killed or somebody killing themselves. That's what it is. You reading it. It's like you don't get much more emotional contact to it unless you're just one of those kind of people who, you know, who do. But the average person, when they read a story, it's like reading a newspaper. You're just getting updated. But the difference is when you can actually see a video and feel the emotions of a person that's talking. The average person will feel something if they see, especially a kid, crying about, you know, like in this case, being beat up. And it's the same as like brutality of black men in the United States. So back in the day, black men have been getting beat up by the police for as long as we know. My uncle got the hell beat out of him back in the 70s. Police had took him, beat him up, and then dropped him off in some foreign neighborhood, you know, with the hopes of somebody finishing the job. My dad has told me that story, and it stuck with me. And many families know this same story, okay? It's been happening. If you hadn't been beat up, you've been harassed by the police or anything. But the difference now is there's video. Today, we can see, Philando Castro getting shot and killed. We can see Eric Garner being choked. And then we can, hear the screams of Trayvon Martin before he was gunned down. Like, when you can hear or see, or it strikes a different kind of emotion in you. That is what causes people to want to act. It moves the story further along than just reading it somewhere. So that may be a lot of the reason why the two little black girls story did not come about. We just didn't have as much information. And I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I'm just telling you that may be some of the reasons why. It's a shame that we will latch on to a story. It doesn't have to do anything with the race or anything. We will latch on to a story because it's sort of like a method of groupthink. Social media makes you be that way. You just always trying, whatever one person say, if a group gets on it, then all of a sudden everybody is on it. So that may be part of that reason. But anyway, let me get back on track. So then they started saying that the woman was an opportunist and that she was using her son to get this money. There was GoFundMe accounts that were started, raised somewhere near $60,000. And then, some soccer player came out and said that the lady told him that she just wanted money. And then everybody was upset with her. It was a mess. Come to find out, those GoFundMe accounts were not hers. Somebody else had created them. GoFundMe is just a hornet's nest of fraudulent activity. Okay, you just never can tell whether or not a person is being truthful or not in those GoFundMe stories unless you know them personally. I can't even get involved with them GoFundMes. People ask me all the time to post their GoFundMe links, and I just will not do it. So y'all might as well not even ask me. I'm not doing it. Okay, because it's just too much room for this kind of shit. Then y'all be on here talking about I was the one that started the damn GoFundMe if something happened. Be like, I heard that was really hers and she was trying to get some money from you. Y'all ain't gonna be talking about me out there. I know how them GoFundMe streets work. Okay, so that was a mess. And just since then, she's been on the morning talk show and she says she's not a racist. She made the mistake posting shit back in the day. But ultimately, if you want to hate her, but you should still talk to your children about bullying. And I'll just agree with that. If you were trying to stay on task with this story, which was originally making sure that kids don't bully each other, then yes, you need to speak with your children about that. Okay, bullying is nothing new either. However, social media takes it to a whole nother level. When you would be bullied at school, you take your ass home, and that was it back in the day. Okay, you ain't had to deal with it until you got back to school the next day. Now on social media, it can be very much seen from school to school to school to school. You guys know these high schools and junior highs, everybody knows everybody in the community, and they can be bullied on a much larger scale. So I didn't talk about this too long because my opinion about the whole thing is yes, bullying is wrong and racism is wrong. That's kind of just how I see it. So that's it on Keaton and his mama. Alright, can somebody tell me what was Sister Manigault Newman's role at the Trump administration? I do know that she made somewhere around $180,000 a year. They said that's the maximum salary for a White House staff. I think her official title was the Director of Communications for the White House Office of Public Liaison, or whatever the fuck that means. That's what she did. Omarosa did. She hung in there with Trump. She saw an opportunity. She had been on his show. What's the name of the show? The Apprentice. What they say, 3 or 4 times, have been fired every time. Okay, so, baby girl got it honest. I guess Trump had taken a special liking to her. And I'm out, child. What's this liking? We're going to talk about that in a minute. But, so he has carried her on, brought her into his administration. And, child, we thought she was in like Flynn. They would have had us believe that, right? Now, she has had her share of problems at the White House. Remember, she had the issue with the Black Caucus, okay, had the problems with the Black Journalists convention. Remember, she had that run-in with April Ryan and arguing in the damn thing with the woman and trying to get her thrown out of the briefing room. You remember when the secretary would try to giving everybody, the press secretary would be trying to give everybody information, was trying to get April Ryan thrown out because she was trying to say that she had some information on the docket and all this other shit, right? You know, she had a special case of I'm important. Showed up at the White House when she got married to Pastor Newman. I don't remember what the man's first name was. Anyway, showed up at the White House unexpected, you know. Bitch, you ain't even called to tell them that you was coming. She done showed up there with her wedding guests and her wedding party and was trying to have this impromptu photo shoot in the White House garden, and they was just like, slow your roll, baby girl. You can't come in here just acting like you own shit. No, you can't come in here with that shit, honey. They was all up in that damn White House. You know how your cousins are, child. They could be wrong. They could be wrong. You can't tell me that Omarosa ain't got some ignorant in her damn family. She might try to hide it away, but they probably was like, oh, motherfuckers didn't made it. Anyway, something tells me that they was about sick of Omarosa up in that damn White House. And not quite sure what brought about the events. But, yeah, they say that the chief of staff, he about sick of Omarosa. There was some sort of confrontation. She was up there. He had enough. He said, put her ass out. Okay. Put her ass out. All the way off the grounds. Take her out there to Washington, D.C., one of them streets out there, and don't let the bitch come back. Okay. He fired her ass. And something about she being so upset with that chief of staff, the reason why they put her out is because she was trying to get into the residence. The residency part of the White House, and it didn't trip the alarm. And they was like, fuck wrong with you? Okay, she want to talk to your president about why she got, I said, girl, why you feel like you can come up in the house at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning? Okay, that's the first question. Now, we ain't seen, 7, 8 seasons of Scandal, child, for us to know that, maybe there could have been some shit going down with Trump and Omarosa, and why she felt so entitled that she would be able to even pull a stunt like this. Alright, I'm just thinking to myself, like, bitch, you was really trying to go, where is the wife? Where is Melania? Do she live at the White House, or she still staying at the Trump place up in New York? Cause you, girl, while you up here minding the front door, honey, that back door is showing up being tended by Miss Omarosa. Yes. You riding Orange D around here? Shit. I said, girl, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. So, you know, they say that they put her out and that she was cussing and fussing, and I have every belief in that. Okay, April Ryan actually is the one who tweeted that, and I was glad that April Ryan was the one to do it, considering that Omarosa treated her like shit. She was even supposed to be in Omarosa's wedding, and she put her out the wedding because of all of that bullshit. So yeah, April was like, honey, I got it on special hookup. The story is that they put her ass out. She was cussing and fussing and trying to get up in the Trump's bedroom and shit, and they put her ass out. So hey, didn't quite work out for sis. Now today she was on Good Morning America with Michael Strahan talking about she saw some things in the administration that she was uncomfortable with, that was flat out wrong, okay, that affected the community that she's in, her people. I said, bitch, who your people? Who the fuck your people? Where your grandma stay? What school you went to? Honey, you ain't none of my people. Shit. And now she's going to write a book tentatively entitled What I Did at the White House. Okay. Which the New York Times has already described as a, quote, riveting collection of blank pages. Unquote. Anyway, you guys. It is what it is. We don't want Omarosa back. We done told y'all that a long time ago. Now Omarosa has found herself kind of flailing in the water by herself. Treading water. Been out there for quite some time, tired. It's only one way that can work out. Your ass might drown if you can't get to some level ground fast enough. So we gonna see what happens with Omarosa. But I believe I can speak for most to all of the black community when I say, bitch, we done with you. So don't bring it back over this way. Alright, you guys, these sexual allegations, I didn't do much research on it because it's just too much now. I like every single week is somebody else. Now, I will admit that it eventually was going to get to y'all cousins, and it did. Okay, now we got Russell Simmons, who has 3 or 4 more women who have come out against him. L.A. Reid, which doesn't surprise me, and there's already been talk about L.A. Reid doing this shit anyway. And Tavis Smiley. So, yeah, it has made it to our side of the town. But I'm just like, it's just so much every week that now I don't even pay attention to the stories anymore. Like, it's sort of just like, oh, okay, who did it this week? Oh, that one did, you know. I don't know how to feel about all of this, because while I do believe that it happens quite rampantly in Hollywood and in politics and all that, I'm just like, is every fucking body out there fucking somebody that they ain't selling that they could? Child, I don't know what to think about any of this still. But I will say that I do believe it about L.A. Reid. That's why he lost his job, at Arista. Tavis, I don't know much about the story. I mean, I have read some things now. People starting to say that he's got a certain proclivity to the man folk, and they were surprised that he was even being accused by a woman. But so I don't even know what to believe anymore. But yeah, it definitely has made it over to the black community. And Mario Bartali, okay, from the Chew, he's stepped down too. I don't know if these people have accepted and say, well, Tavis hasn't, and neither has Russell. They're both saying that they're innocent, but yeah, it's just like this phenomenon of accusing people is problematic as well. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I mean, every story that comes out, do you just automatically believe it? Or do you have some sort of rating system in your mind or in your spirit that discerns for you and lets you know who is and isn't lying? Like, I need y'all to help me out with this one, because I'm just like, God damn, every single body. The Duchess interview on the Breakfast Club, I watched it today. I watch Black Ink Crew Chicago, like, sporadically. Like, I don't watch it weekly, but I know enough about both of the shows to kind of feel like I, know the characters and all of that. Now, Duchess, this interview that Duchess did on Breakfast Club was very convincing. I mean, all of the issues that's gone on with her and Caesar, I'm just more inclined to believe the shit that she says, especially because she was able to provide a lot of supporting information. Duchess is very well spoken. She's a smart girl. And I will never forget that I was talking to somebody who actually has some sort of links to the Black Ink production, and they even said that Duchess was a really nice person, and a lot of things that happen on the show is sort of not right when it comes to Duchess. So yeah, I believe her. When you see the actions that Caesar's going through, I mean, he's a single man, he's young, he's a black guy, whatever. Okay, he can be out there hoeing it up and being with the rats and everything, but just the way he has been compared to the way Duchess has been since they have broken up, I would be more inclined to believe what Duchess said. I mean, she had her shit together, child. Did you look at it? Whose side were you on? If what she says is true and that she's just trying to move on with her life and have some peace and not have to deal with the reality shows and all of that, then you know what, more power to her. I hope that she is able to do all of the things that she wants without having to deal with the scuttlebutt and the, all of the fool of fucking niggatry of being on a reality show like that. She finally did wake up. At least that's what it seems like from that interview. Congratulations are in order to Michael Shea. He is the first black head writer on Saturday Night Live, the whole history of the show. You guys, I am a fan of Saturday Night Live. If you guys don't realize it, I have kind of modeled my quickie section after the news segment on Saturday Night Live. It was sort of like when I was trying to figure out Top of the Blogs. That show is what kind of made what Top of the Blogs was going to be. It's kind of changed a little bit, but the quickie segment has always been modeled after the Saturday Night Live news thing. Anyway, that was a little bit of trivia for you. But anyway, I've watched Saturday Night Live for years, since I was a kid. Okay, been with Saturday Night Live through the golden years, through the not so great years. I mean, I do ride with them, so I'm real happy. Leslie, what's her last name? Is it Jones? Yeah, Leslie Jones was a writer, but not a head writer. So now he is going to be the head writer. He's sharing that spot with the kid that he also does the news segment with. What's his name? Colin Colin Jost, I believe. So congratulations to the two of them. I know that Saturday Night Live is a big enough entity, a big enough corporation, that this is great for Michael Shea's resume. So good for him. Congratulations to old Michael. The frost facts of this fucking paternity suit that, you know, D-Lo and Jasmine was going through, the shit got thrown out because of statute of limitations. He waited too long, supposedly, to take the fucking paternity test. And I'm just like, since when do motherfuckers just don't decide that they... You can see my bra through this shirt a little bit. Got distracted. Since when do people decide that they just not gonna take the test? Didn't the judge order it? I think the judge was just like, fuck it, I'm so tired of y'all niggas. Y'all do whatever the fuck you want with this baby. And y'all know I ain't never believed it. Then I sort of believed it. Then I did believe it. And then I was like, no, that ain't true. And it's been so much shit from that. And, you know, something just tells me that the Frosts have just pulled one over on us real slick. Had some really great lawyer advice. And obviously knew that if they just sat it out, that they wouldn't have to be called to the carpet about that damn baby and Jasmine. Fuck all of them, child. Congratulations are also in order to Cardi B, her partnership with Steve Madden. Cardi B says that she wanted to partner with a company that would be more accessible for her fans. And I was like, well, good looking out, y'all, because even though, you know, she talks about lubes and all of that, child, Roxanne would love to buy lubes and everything, but I can't do it. I cannot do it. My limit on shoes, $200 for shoes. $300 for boots. That's about it for me. So yeah, I was glad that I like Steve Madden shoes. That was right up my alley. I actually just bought some boots that I believe was part of her line from Steve Madden. 2017 has been the best year for her. I feel like I talk about her every year because every single week is something else. So congratulations to her. Another fist pump of righteousness is the black girl magic. The black girls is doing it, bitch. You gonna recognize one day. And while we're giving congratulations, let's congratulate LaToya Luckett. She married her Dallas businessman and entrepreneur Tamacus Walker on December 10th, Sunday night. Okay, we saw the pictures, we saw the videos. I've actually been seeing her and this guy. They've been together, I believe. Well, they got engaged in August. She had said she was going to get married before the end of the year, and she was true to her word. And it, like I said, it was lavish, and she had all these dresses, and she was beautiful. I was like, well, that is a big difference from her marriage, short-lived marriage to what's the guy name that be telling y'all what to do and y'all act like he just the second coming, Rob Hill. Is it Rob Hill? Y'all, we didn't even know she was married to Rob until they got a damn divorce. So very much different from that story to this story today. And whatever the particulars are on that story, I'm not gonna rain on the girls' parade. Okay, congratulations to LaToya Luckett. She looked beautiful. Her husband is very handsome. Hopefully they will build a family together and live happily ever after. And lastly, supposedly Auntie Patty went on to Watch What Happens Live and told Andy that Luther Vandross was gay. We didn't know that? Child, who didn't know that Luther Vandross was gay? But now they saying that it's been confirmed because Patti LaBelle said it. Okay, fine, child, if that's what you want to say. All right. Patti LaBelle has confirmed that Luther Vandross was gay. Y'all happy with that? Alright, you guys, so that is it. Let me get off of here. We do this every single week. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.